Fist of the North Star is a Japanese animated movie created in Japan uh, by a studio, Toei Animation. This is the company that made this animation, and the animation director is Toyu Ashida, and it was made in 1986 and at a cost of 700 million yen. I believe is around 5 million US dollars, and it made 1.8 billion in the box office. That's yen, and which I believe is around 13 million US dollars, in today's calculated terms. So it's one of the uh, animes. Me being any Japanese Japanimation fan or Japanese animation fan, or anime, in short terms, is one of the this is one of the first movies, one of the very first movies that I watched when I was quite young, and I'm a very huge fan of this movie. It has very good animation. It has some really great ideas, really groundbreaking ideas in some respects. Um, the voice acting of the dub is quite excellent. Can't really fault that. The music is great. The visuals are great. The story is quite good as well, quite interesting. And so it's basically about Ken. He's the central character of this animation, and he is so there are various schools, in this time. It is kind of set in a post apocalyptic setting, like similar to Mad Max. And in this time, you have various people, wandering around. You have people who are victims of gangs, and you have other people who are protecting the innocent people. Things like money have become like worthless. Money, gold, those things are worthless, and things like food, water, those are more precious. And there has been like a some kind of nuclear war on Earth, because if you watch the start of the movie, it starts out really beautifully. Like the scenes are really nice. You see all these beautiful landscapes, and all of a sudden there's these nuclear bombs that go off, and the whole world is turned into this fiery place, and you see all these people dying. And then you see other scenes where you see the all the chaos that has been caused. Where one scene you can see a ship that has gone through a skyscraper, so you can get a idea of the level of chaos that has happened on Earth. So this story revolves around this character Ken, and this story is actually based on a manga. It is based on a manga, Japanese manga. Manga means like it's basically a comic. In Western terms, it's a comic, and in Japanese society, they're very big on mangas, and this particular story is based on one particular manga. So they have gone to this manga and or comic, and they have created this anime or animation, Japanese animation, based on that. So the central character is Ken, or Kenshiro, and he's he's from this martial arts uh, line or school or style called Hokuto Shinken. And he has two brothers. One is called Rao, he's the elder brother, and the other brother is Jagi. So he has two brothers, and their father was the master who taught them these fighting skills, and the fighting skills Kenshiro has is that when he fights with people, he can hit the nerves of his opponent, so that they get blocked, and the blood supply gets blocked, and the various parts of the body blows up. Like for example, the head blows up and the stomach blows up, things like that. So it is quite a violent animated film. Is definitely not for children. Definitely not for children, but it's definitely for young adults and up. So it is quite an interesting story. So in the start scene, you see Ken and his girlfriend or partner Yuria. They're walking in the desert, and I guess they're thinking of ways of how they can restore the planet. How they can bring the planet back to how it was before the nuclear holocaust. And then his friend appears on the scene, uh, and his friend is actually from a different a different uh, uh, martial arts school, because whereas he is from Hakuto Shinken, his friend is from a different one called Nanto Seinken. And so and in this scene where this I mean that happens to be his best friend, and he turns up and he basically wants to steal Ken's girlfriend, and then there's a conflict. There's a scene of conflict in that, and he basically gets beaten by his friend, and the friend goes away with his girlfriend, with his partner Yuria. So yeah, that's like basically the start of the movie, and and it details how Ken goes, and there's various other opponents that he comes across, where he meets other people along the way, and his interactions with his brothers, and how that plays out, and how he what he does to seek out his girlfriend or his partner that was stolen by his friend. What he does. So it's basically a story about that, in this apocalyptic setting. So as I mentioned, the animation is really great. The production values are really high. It's like almost every frame is animated type of thing. If you closely analyze the animation, you'll see how much effort they have put into the animation. I mean, it is a bit dated compared to today's standard, but it's got that appeal of watch of a old anime. Sometimes the old animes are better than the newer ones. It's got the retro feel, but the animation quality is very high. The quality of the animation, the visuals are very high. The sound effects are excellent. The English dub voice acting is quite good, and the story itself is quite good as well. Technically, it's been made really well. So I highly recommend this. This is like a classic. This is a classic. A lot of other animations that have followed in the footsteps of this animated film. So it is quite a high quality and highly recommended anime to watch and to even own. If you want to own a copy of it, you can do that as well. So yeah, so I have basically rated the various aspects and given a score, and yeah, and I highly recommend this anime to everyone.